Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet. So if that interests you, please sit back and watch this video because today, my friends, I offer you another session of WIPn It with Juan. So my friends, if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy to have you. I'm thankful that you found me, and I hope you enjoy your stay while you're here. If you enjoy yourself, consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you. Everyone else, welcome back. I'm super happy that you're here as well. So, WIPn It with Juan literally is just that, WIPn It with Juan. So, work in progress with Juan. So, we are working on a project, and this here, my friends, is called the Daigo Shawl. So, this is one of my creations. Super excited to show you guys this. Some of my favorite stitches are in this shawl. So we have double crochets, we have double cross, we have twins in a stitch, we have half double cross, we have the granny stitch, and then we have the crossover stitch. So it's a 6-row repeat. I love my 6-row repeats. I have many shawls that are 6-row repeats. I don't know why, it's just the thing. I love 6-row repeat shawls. And so, yeah, here you go. So, I am making this for someone special on the YouTube streets. So, my sister from another Mr. Jax brought me to this other channel, this other person. Her name is Daigo. Daigo Crochets is the name of the channel. And there's currently a fundraiser for her to get internet so that she can continue creating content and things like that. So I was just so moved by the gesture of what Jax is doing to help her out that as her brother from another mother, I wanted to step in and help out as well. So I donated some scrap cakes, I donated some patterns, and then I wanted to make her something special. So this is what I'm making her. So Jax secretly asked her, hey, what's your favorite color? And Daigo responded, blues, but you know what? Any color will work. And so Jax said, blue, any shade of blue. And I'm like, okay, I'm on the case. I'm on the case, friends. So I went ahead and pulled some things from the stash behind me, and here we are. I got to work. I said, what are some of my favorite stitches that I love to work with? Obviously, I love these stitches because I started this last night. And look how far I got. Like, when you enjoy your stitches, it tends to go a lot faster. So, yeah, for me, this was it. I'm like, I'm loving every row of this situation. This is great for me. I need to write this down. So, friends, I wrote the pattern down. So this is going to be a thing. I'm going to showcase this on my channel. I'm going to do a tutorial for those of you guys who are interested in this particular pattern. It works up beautifully. And so it's nothing too intricate or too hard that it can't be done. I mean, these are very simple stitches with a little bit of guidance. You got this, you know. So if you can do double crochets and half double crochets, you can do every single one of these stitches. Seriously. And so I decided to do a light, medium, and dark situation. So I did a cream instead of like a bright white. Then I did a light blue and then a navy blue. So can't go wrong with that. And so the Daigo shawl is going to be known as the Daigo shawl because of the 6-row repeat in the sequence that I have it. It's a lot of crossovers, a lot of crosses, you know. So that's kind of what I like. It's my vibe. I love the texture that it gives off. So that's kind of why I decided to put it together the way that I did. But yeah, no rhyme, no reason. I'm like, these are the stitches. Let me go ahead and put it together. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying the process. I decided it's going to be 54 rows in total. I may have to alter that because it's growing very quickly. How far am I? So as of right now, 6, 12, 18, 24, 32. I'm on row 33. And I started this last night. I crocheted for about an hour before bed, and then I woke up before work this morning and I crocheted on it for another hour. And then after work, I came home and crocheted for about another hour before my members only live. So 3 hours worth of work so far, and then we have now. So very, very quick for me to work up, and I attribute that to all of the stitches in this project just happen to be the ones I love to work with the most. The only one that's really missing out of this bunch is the half double crochet. But I have it in a cross, so it's fine. The double crochet I do enjoy working with just because for me it's one of those things where it gives me the height, it gives me the speed, I can just travel, do the things. I could just do the things. So, anyway, what is on your hook? I'm curious to know what you guys are all working on. Some of you guys like to have me on just as background noise, which is absolutely fine. But what are you working on? Are you doing your homework? Are you working on another type of project that might or might not be yarn related? I know there's a lot of crafters who watch me, so it's interesting to know what you guys are all working on. And then, of course, if you are knitting or crocheting, what project are you working on? I'm curious. If you're members of my Facebook group, Juan the Yarn Addict and Friends, feel free to take a picture and share with me. I'd love to see what you're working on, to see the progress and all the things. If you're not, feel free to shoot me an email at JuanTheYarnAddict@gmail.com. Show me a picture. I'm curious. A lot of my inspiration comes from the viewers and the supporters. Like, I see different kinds of projects out there. I'm like, oh my goodness, that bag. The shape of that bag is amazing. I wonder if I could make it in a stitch that I like over here with that project that I did, So I like to do things like that. So, and also too, like, feel free, like, if you see something that I've made and it inspires you to make something in your own way, by all means. I love that. And I love seeing it. So feel free to share, But for me, I started with a bunch of stitches that I really enjoy working with. And then I said to myself, okay, Juan, let's slap these together and see what happens. And I'm so glad I did, because I really enjoy the whole situation of this shawl. Now, I'm used to calling it a scarf, but in this particular instance, it's not going to be a scarf. It's going to be entirely too big to be a scarf. This is meant to be a huge hug, because I want Daigo to have a huge hug from me. And so what better way to give Daigo a huge hug than to make a huge shawl for her to wrap up in while she's just enjoying all the things. So I figured 54 rows is just enough, because right now at 33, I think I said, we have some good length here, Let me see. So that's one repeat. This is the second repeat. I may not need to go 9 deep, because it is, we'll see. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I'll have to measure it. If I get 48 inches, actually, I need somewhere between 36 and 48 inches. So we'll see. There is a specific size that I'm looking for. So we shall see. But I was just so moved by the gesture, And this isn't the first time that I've seen things like this go on in the YouTube streets. Someone needs help, others come to the rescue, do what they can when they can to help a fellow person on the YouTube streets. And I get so moved and inspired by that it causes me to do things like this. Now, mind you, friends, I'm in the middle of my spring cow. I stopped recording to do this because I'm just so moved by the gesture that I have to do this. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to do it. So I stayed up extra late when I first heard about everything that was going on. So Daigo is, in need of some internet service or whatever. And so Jax was like, you know what, let's just do a little fundraiser to get you your internet back so all is good, so you can continue doing all the things. And so just the gesture of that alone was like, you know what, let me do something to give, Daigo a huge smile. Something that I know that she would enjoy. Let me go ahead and make a shawl, And so I told Jaxie about it, and she was like, oh my goodness, Juan, do you think you can pull it off? And I said, honestly, I'm not sure. Because I am elbows deep in my cow. I'm like right in the middle. I'm in week 3 right now of my crochet along. I have 2 more weeks to go after this one. And the projects actually, it gets bigger, as projects grow. So I have to get further and further ahead to stay caught up, So I have 1 more recording session for week 3 because I have to do it in pieces. So I have 1 more recording session for week 3 and then I'm done. And then I actually think on the day that I roll out week 3, I actually have to start round 4 because I just need the time to be able to crochet it. I'm spinning the wheel for 4 stitches every week. And then once I get those 4 stitches, I get to work. I start crocheting. I crochet my heart out. I record it into like a tutorial format so that viewers can follow along. And so far, so good. I have left and right hand tutorials on my channel right now for weeks 1 and 2. And a lot of folks have already finished the first 2 weeks, which is amazing. And by the way, they're all looking so great. I've seen some in cotton. I've seen some in wool, acrylic, polyester. I actually seen a spring cow done in blanket yarn, which I think is phenomenal because it's not warm everywhere, There are people who are watching me from like Siberia and it's cold up there. And even though it's a spring cow, they're making something that's seasonal for them. So I applaud them. I'm like, go for it. Why not? I think that's amazing. So, yeah, I don't know what's gotten into me, friends. I'm being honest with you. I'm really pushing the positivity vibe. Like, I'm trying to, uppercase celebrate positivity in any positive way that I can, I just really feel the need to overemphasize how important it is to be positive because it takes more energy to be negative than it does to be positive. And not just on YouTube, but like everywhere, it just rears its ugly head and it's just not a look. It's not the look. I don't think anybody needs to be experiencing negativity. We've been through enough. There's enough negativity out there in the world. We don't need it here on the YouTube streets. We don't need it on social media. So anything that I can do to try and eliminate that negativity, I'm going to do that. So one way to do that is by being positive, Let those negative people be negative on their side of the street. Over here, I'm unbothered, Let them harbor their negativity over there. So, there's that. And just like that, row 1 is done. I'm loving this. I'm loving this shawl. I want to make my mother one. I mentioned this on my members only live. And then I said to myself, you know what? Why would I waste the time in making mom a Daigo shawl if she doesn't even like wearing them. She's not into them, friends. For some reason, hats, scarves, shawls, anything like that, it's just not her thing. She's just not into it for whatever reason, and I don't know why. But me, I'm all about it. I love it. I don't even know where I got that from. I mean, I love making them. I love crocheting them. I love reading books on them. It's just so much fun. No sense in letting the coffee go to waste. It's just sitting there looking at me. I'm like, I might as well just sip on it. So, yeah. Anyway, I have been super busy with planning out my summer. So, this summer, well, first of all, my birthday's in July. July 31st, mark your calendars, friends. July 31st is my birthday. So, from July 1st to July 31st, I'm going to be crocheting away on my birthday blanket. And my birthday yarn is as follows. Red Heart with Love Fruit Punch. This is going to be my birthday blanket. So I'm using all of the skeins that I, along with friends of the channel, have helped me acquire. You know, this was not a one-person task. This took a village. It took, I want to say, upwards of 10 people, including myself, to acquire the yarn. Friends, with this being vintage and discontinued, it was very tough to find the amount that I needed. Okay, I have 23 of these. I have 23 of these, and I know yardage-wise, of the vintage variegated, it's perfect. It's 180 yards per ball, per skein. Okay, I'm looking to make a king-size blanket in July. For some reason, every year, before I started the channel, every year in July, I make a king-size blanket. Last year, it was my Heather's blanket. It was a corner-to-corner using Burnett's Super Value in all of the heathered yarns that they carried. Redwood heather, oatmeal heather, gray heather, taupe heather. So I had all the heathers, and I made a king-size blanket. I've shown it on the channel several times. The year before that, I did my temperature blanket. Hexagons, huge hexagons. I've shown that on the channel too. It's huge. This year, I'm doing this Red Heart with Love Fruit Punch. So, the solids, I thought about doing black as like a contrast color, but what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to play smart this time. I've figured out the names of the colorways of the yarns within the variegated. So the colors that are within this, I have found out the exact colorway names. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to acquire each of the colors in the solid if they're still available. I know that two of the colors that are here are available for sure. It's this like reddish color here and the aqua. For sure those are available. I know that. So I'm going to grab those yarns and put it together with this. I don't really think I need to do the black, if I'm being honest. So, yes, that is my birthday blanket. In addition to that, I will be working on my Sirens Atlas. I can't do the tutorials. I did not get permission, so I can't do those. But what I can do is show off my finished squares and then link the channel or link the resource where the videos are located so that you can follow those tutorials for all the squares. So I have that we're going to be doing in July, and then I'm going to be rolling out some other things. Stay tuned. I'm super excited about what's coming. So, and then on top of that, friends, I do things like this, totally unplanned, off the cuff. So I have things in my mind that I want to work on, like stitch tutorials for the Stitch Academy. Yes, friends, I have a Stitch Academy on my channel. It is a playlist. It's not extensive yet, because then again, friends, I've only been on YouTube going on 8 months. So, yeah, as of the 21st, it will be 8 months. So, all things considered, I have almost 400 videos uploaded onto my channel. Not bad for 7 months and some change, right? So, I think I'm doing pretty good, staying consistent with uploading and keeping myself out there on the YouTube streets, you know? Almost 400. It's insane. I love that for me, for you, and for us. Yes. I just love being present for my viewers. I get so many emails and messages talking about how you guys love having a crochet buddy, just someone to listen to and talk with and, you know, share time with. I get so moved by those messages that that's what fuels me to sit in front of this camera and do all the things that I do. You know, so if I stopped getting those emails, I probably would slow down a little bit, but I enjoy doing it, and you guys keep telling me that you enjoy it, so why not? I'm crocheting anyway. Listen, friends, regardless if the camera's on or not, every day I crochet, period. Whether it's in the squirrel's nest, on the recliner, or if it's here in front of the camera. One way or another, I'm crocheting. So why not kill two birds with one stone and just sit in front of this camera and talk to you about all the things while I crochet anyway, you know? So instead of me talking in the other room, I'd be watching YouTube videos anyway. You know? So one way or another, it's bound to happen. And so I know you guys like watching me and listen to me babble about all the things. Oh, guess what? I have to tell you guys something. I probably have shown you already, but I treated myself something for the 30K milestone, you know? I'm doing a giveaway later on in the month for the viewers and things, but to celebrate, I got myself something. Actually, a few things. So I got myself some Nelson wood hooks. I'm so hooked on these hooks. So Thriss over at Thriss and Stitches gifted me my very first Brian Nelson wood hook. So it's, all my hooks are right here. So she gifted me my first one, and then after that I was hooked. I'm like, these are absolutely amazing. They're handmade, and they just have that feel like someone who really cared about the craft really took their time and put this together. You can feel it in the work. Anyway, she gifted me my first one, which prompted me to go ahead, go on the website, and order my second one, right? And then I think when I hit 20K or 25K, I think 25K, I had an anonymous friend of the channel send me my third one, which is this one. It's called Fordite. So, yes, it's out of the tube because I'm actually using it for a project right now. Love this for me. So, anyway, up until recently, I've only had 3, right? So then I hit my 30K. I said, Juan, you're so kind. You're nice to people. You mean well, you know, even if you misspeak sometimes, because we're human, you know. I'm human. I'm kind. And I hit a milestone. You need to treat yourself to something. So I treated myself to 2 of these Nelson wood hooks. Yes, friends, you heard that right. I bought myself 2. So I ordered the one, and Brian started making it, and then Thriss, she sends me a message and she's like, Juan, so there are these hooks that Brian just released. These are the abalone hooks. You have to go and look at these. These are, as you say, all the things. And I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm like, I just got myself a hook, but let me look anyway. So I look and I'm like, I have to get this. I have to get this. I need this in my life. So another reason the abalone hook prompted my attention was because the first one that I bought myself, I had Brian alter it. So it's not your standard Brian Nelson hook, Nelson wood hook. So I had the neck extended. I had this part right here extended longer to accommodate entrelac crochet. So it's something that my aunt taught me. I know how to do entrelac crochet in the round, and I don't need a Tunisian crochet hook for it because it only requires 7 or 8 stitches on the hook at one time. So I just need a little bit of a longer neck, and he accommodated that request and made it for me. Let me just show you. I know it's WIPn it with Juan. We'll get back to it. Hold on, let me just show you the things. So this is what, see, this is the standard neck, okay? It's not really, extra long. It's your standard neck. Here is the accommodated version. See the difference? So it was made longer for me to be able to hold 7 or 8 stitches on here with no problem. 1000% for sure, this is the hook that I'm using for my entrelac in the round. It's going to bring back so many memories because my aunt taught me how to make that, that whole thing, the entrelac in the round. And yeah, I can't wait to get started on that. I ordered some yarns for that project, so once that yarn gets here from the UK, I'll go ahead and start on that and show you guys all the things. I ordered from Wool Warehouse UK. Love that place, and I love the organza bags the yarns come in. I mean, what class, you know what I mean? Organza bags, yeah, it's great. So I ordered some yarns from the Wool Warehouse UK. Once that gets in here, we'll start the entrelac in the round. I'm probably going to sit here just like this and talk to you about all the things while I work on it. It is a Tunisian type project, so I'm probably not going to showcase that on my channel. I believe, Tunisian projects should be for the Tunisian channels. And I have to give them their platform and their space to be able to do those things, So I am considerate in that way. Technically, I don't have to do it, but I want to. I want them to have their moments to shine. And plus, if I let them do it, I may actually learn something. Maybe I missed something over the years, So I'm just going to let them do their thing. And I'll be here doing my own thing. So I'll be working on it here like this. But in terms of like tutorials or anything like that, I'm probably just going to let them have that. So that's fine. Anyway, I am super excited to get this done because I think once this is done and the spring cal is done, I am actually going to start Siren's Atlas early. I'm going to start doing my squares. There's 64 of them. And I want to be finished Siren's Atlas by the end of July, July 31st. I want to be finished because in August, we need to prepare for the fall. So we got to get back into like the ponchos, the sweaters, and all the things, get a head start on all that. So I want to wrap up all of my summer projects by my birthday, and then just have a week of like whipping it with wands, just relaxing, getting it all done, wrapping up the summer. I mean, technically August is summer, right? But, you know, I just want to prepare for the next season ahead of time. So, you may hear other channels say that as well. Like, we try to stay ahead of the curve. So, yeah. And then, friends, I'll be celebrating my 1 year podversary in September. That's amazing. And boy, do I have a prize for that one. So I have some things planned. And I don't want to tease anything too early because, there's still time between now and then. Things may change. Who knows what'll happen between now and then? I mean, I don't know. In any case, this year has flown by. I cannot believe how fast 2024 is just moving right on along. Some days it feels like water boiling. You're watching the water, waiting for it to boil and all the things. But then there's weeks that go by and you're like, what happened to that whole week? Wow, that's insane. So, yeah. Anyway, this spring crochet along, let me tell you, for week 1, I had to rip the entire project out multiple times. Week 2, I had to rip it out multiple times. Week 3, knock on wood, everything is going as planned. I just want to get it done so I can move on to the next project. Now my Sirens Atlas, like the book has it in like blues and creams and things. Let me just show you the book. It's right here anyway. Sorry. So this is what the squares look like. You see that? It almost looks like there are 1, 2, 3 shades of blue with like an ecru or a cream, right? How about I not use blue? And how about I use a color that's totally unexpected? Like red. Like do a burgundy, a medium red, and like a lighter red, just as an example. Something unexpected. I don't want to do purple. I thought about it. I don't want to do purple. For some reason, red is calling my name. We love a good red, especially when there's multiple hues of it, different shades and things. I don't know, friends. There's still time for me to consider, some options. I've thought about the teals. I thought about doing multiple shades of brown. I even thought about just going to the blues, But as of late, I've already been working several projects in blues, like this, and like the Eleanor shawl in blues. I mean, I've been working with blues quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to working with like another color. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. But whatever I decide on, I mean, I'm going to have to commit to that because all of the squares, well, maybe if I did all different, no. I'm going to have to pick a color story and then stick with it. So that's just preference. I mean, technically we can choose anything we want because it's our yarn, right? And for those of you guys who purchased books, I mean, it's your book to do what you want with. But for me, I kind of want to stick to a color sequence. I want to, okay, if reds and creams is what I'm going to stick with, then let's ride this all the way to the end. 64 squares, And each square is different, and I think that's what the challenge for me is going to be. Like, let's knock out the hard ones first, get them out of the way, and then move on to the ones that are, easier, and do like a gradual transition from like hard. Actually, technically, friends, I don't think any of it is hard. If you just break it down step by step, when you look at the bigger picture, friends, all it is single crochet, double crochet. It's your basic stitches, and you're just putting them all together, you know? So I wouldn't get too stressed out about it being too hard. I say hard because technically a lot of, even on the book, it says it's for intermediate or adventurous beginners, So there are difficult squares in here, but if you break it down and you work at it one step at a time, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it very well. And also, too, they're just squares. It's not a whole, these are just little squares, So, I don't know. I'm excited to get it started. But first, I have to finish up these projects. I have to finish. I don't want to start Siren's Atlas in the middle of my cowl. And, okay, in true Juan the Yarn Addict fashion, I have to compound the situation. So, like, even though I am working, calico flowers, Karen cotton cakes, I decided to pick up Karen cinnamon swirl cakes and do a second one side by side. True Juan the Yarn Addict fashion. As if one can never be enough. It's so nice, I have to do it twice. And that's the situation, my friends. I don't know why I do that to myself, but I do it all the time. I'm elbows deep in a project, and I will take on other things. I will be like, oh, I got to make this, or oh, I have to make that. I don't know why I do that, and I have to learn how to slow that down so I can really concentrate on what I'm supposed to be working on, because I feel like if I take on too much all at once, it can become overwhelming. For me, that happened in April. I overcommitted and I underdelivered because I overcommitted. I signed up for all the things, friends, and at the end of the day, I've only accomplished 2 of the 5 things that I signed up for. And in my book, that's unacceptable. I finished everything late, and I don't like that. So, yeah, going forward, I'm just going to really just hone in on what I need to focus on for my channel, what I've already promised my viewers. I just have to come through and deliver. And then once the delivery is made, then, okay, let's go play and do all the things. But right now I have to focus on, what did you promise, Juan, and how soon can you get it done so you can move on to the next thing. So, classic example, I teased Apache Tears, right? I did a whole swatch. I plan on doing a tutorial, and it's going to be all the things, right? So, I've shown it multiple times already, the Apache Tears. Actually, I'm just going to show you again. It's right here. So the swatch is right here, Apache Tears. It's all the things. So anyway, I did a whole blanket, right? Sent it off to the charity thing. And then I decided, let me just do this swatch for a tutorial. So I have something to show, right? And then I will build a smaller version, for the tutorial, and just, tell people to stitch multiples and do all the things. So, I said to myself, okay, I'm ready to do this, but I had to take a look outside. Okay, it's getting warmer out. Blankets really aren't the topic of the season right now. I mean, we could always use a good blanket, but Apache Tears is something you're going to have to really work at in order to get that result. It's easy once you get the formula down, but I don't think that's something that is at the top of everyone's list. I think there are other things that are more fun and seasonal to work on. So I'm just thinking about the bigger picture. So to me, in my opinion, blankets like that are more suited for fall projects, you know, so I'm pushing that back to an August project. So it will allow me to roll out the other things that I have on my list. So, yes, I have a list, friends. I have a list of things that people have asked me to make, and I've made them. I just have to sit down and record the tutorials before I even tease it. Listen, friends, I learned my lesson. I'm not teasing a single thing until I am ready to drop that tutorial or pull out the project out of the WIP bag and show you a finished object. So, but just know I have several things just sitting over there, that's completed. I just need to tie up some loose ends, and then we're ready to go. But also I have to remember, timing is everything, so I'm going to pace myself. See, I'm learning. Pace myself. Anywho. Okay. The next one is Twins in a Stitch. Twins in a Stitch. Friends, can I tell you how much I love doing Twins in a Stitch? I don't know why. Every time I do it, I have a jingle in my head. And I giggle when I do it. Twins in a Stitch, Twins in a Stitch. I do the whole head jigging thing. Like this. Twins in a Stitch, Twins in a Stitch. I don't know why I do that. I'm goofy. Anyway, I'm just really enjoying relaxing here with my crochet hook, just talking away, babbling about all the things that come to my mind. I hope you guys enjoy that. I know I do. Listen, I enjoy this as much as you probably enjoy listening to me. Just babble on about all the things, you know. On the weekends when I do my Zoom calls with my members, I mentioned this before, how I tried one time appointing a co-host, which it went very successful, by the way. It allowed me the opportunity to do all the things like sit here and crochet, and let me tell you, I was in my glory because I had somebody that I can sit here and crochet with, you know. So, I mean, of course, I can crochet with Mom, right? But how awesome is it to be able to crochet with people that live in another state or in another country, you know? Prime example, the other day I was sitting here crocheting. On the same Zoom call, there was a person from Serbia, a person from South Africa, a person from New Zealand, Australia, and India, all on the same Zoom. And we were all crocheting together. How amazing is that? You know, for me, it's literally all the things. So, yes, I place a lot of value in creating those spaces for us to be able to crochet together. You know, because here, you know, I have Mom, I'm her caregiver, and there are times where I just need a break, and I'm sure you guys can understand, you know. It's human nature. Sometimes you just need a breather. And, yeah. So I come onto the Zoom calls to get that breather. And it's a savior, let me tell you. So, anyway. That is one of the perks of being an official Yarn Addict. You get to come onto the Zoom calls. You can interact with me directly. Not everybody gets on there, you know, to speak. They like to sit in the background and lurk, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. You know, whatever makes you comfortable, because not everybody likes to be, you know, people, if that makes any sense. You know, they like to be in good company, but they'd rather just sit back, relax, and watch all the things happen, you know. And I enjoy that for them. I love that for them, actually. You know, so how cool is that, to be able to just sit there and crochet and listen to everybody just meander and talk about all the things. I know I love it. So, isn't this looking so nice? It's so good. It's all the things. I love it. I don't know. I'm such a ham when it comes to things like that. I'm like, this is so good. It is. It's so good. And the best part about this is I'm not even making it for me. I'm making it for someone else, and I know they're going to love it because Daigo actually got a sneak peek of this on the Members Only Live. And yeah, so she saw it, and yes, she loved it. I think she's going to love it even more when it's done because it's going to be huge. You know, I'm making this bear hug size because, you know, I am 6.5 feet tall. I know I've said that a lot, but it bears worth repeating. When you're 78 inches tall, you have to tell people you're 78 inches tall, so things that you make, if you're making them your size, they're going to be pretty big. And to boot, I'm using a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So I want that, you know, that lacy, relaxed type situation. So full disclosure, Red Heart Super Saver yarns are stiff. You know, they have a stiffness to them, but throw it in the washer with some fabric softener. Oh my goodness, it is so good. It's so soft and squish. You'll love it. So that's what I do. You know, I don't really pay any attention to the stiffness of the yarn because I know once it goes in the washer and once I put fabric softener on this, it's over, friends. It's so good. Let me just double check. Okay. It's 2 in the apex, chain 2. 2 in the apex, chain 2, and then 2 more in the apex. Okay, perfect. Love that. Love that for me and for us and for Daigo. She's going to love it. So, I'm trying to think, like, how many times have I been able to create a project like this on a whim? Because let me tell you, when I was talking to Jaxie about this, something inside me was like, Juan, go grab a piece of paper. Go write down the stitches you like to do. Put them in an order that you think looks nice and get to it. That's exactly what happened. I don't know what happened inside me that caused me to want to do that, but I did. Yep. So, yeah, it was a conversation, and then before you know it, we're looking at this. Now, when I first introduced the idea to Jaxie, I was actually testing the pattern out with the Aran. So I mentioned this before, in case you don't know. When I test out patterns and things, when I write things down, I test everything with the colorway Aran, Red Heart Super Saver Aran, because I need to be able to see all of the stitches, the stitch anatomy, where it lays, how it sits next to other stitches in order for it to make sense. And the best color for me is the Aran. So the white is too bright under the bright camera, but this cream is amazing. And so when we were discussing this, I had already begun working on a swatch. And the swatch, I think I was as big as the dark blue here. And I said, okay, I think I've got something here. So I continued on. I did 3 repeats. So I got up to about here, all in Aran. And I said, I have a shawl. I mean, to myself, I didn't tell Jaxie anything. She had no idea I even got that far. But I said, yes, I have a shawl. This is working. The formula is working. Everything is laying correctly. The stitch counts make sense. Nothing is weird. And yeah, so I reached out to Jaxie and said, hey, can you ask Daigo like what her favorite colors are? So she did. I got a response back that said blues, but I love any color. So I said, okay, well, she said blues, so we're going to go there. And that's how I came up with the colors here. And so, fortunately for me, she came in on the Members Only Live and confirmed that she's totally good with the blue. Then I pulled it up into the camera view, and I didn't have to be there to know that, like, my work was appreciated. So I did not create a new mountain, so to speak. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, friends. I mean, we've all done these stitches before, but I decided to put these 6 stitches together this way because I like them, you know. So, because I like them. Anyway, what are your plans for the week? I'm curious. I'm always wanting to know all the things. You know, are you guys starting new projects? Are you finishing up your WIPs? Are you in the middle of trying to get your Crochet back? Are you looking for inspiration? If so, what kinds of inspiration are you looking for? Are you looking to make anything? If so, what? What would you like me to make? You know? Is there something in particular that you're not seeing on my channel that you would like me to make? Now listen, friends, I say that with the full that so long as you understand that I know that I have tons of hats and shawls on my channel. It's because I love making them. That's why you're seeing them. They're not going away. I'm literally going to be doing all of the things. And guess what, friends? I have been doing double crosses this whole side. Oh my stars. I was supposed to be doing twins in a stitch. I stopped at the apex. I don't know what made me think that I needed to continue doing the double cross. We've already done an entire row of it. See, that's what I get for yapping. Oh my. I just thought to myself, I'm like, Juan, didn't you just do an entire row of double cross? I looked down and I'm like, yes, you did. You literally just did an entire row of double crosses. Oh, my stars and stripes. I can't. Anyway, luckily for me, the twins in the stitch is my most favorite stitch. You hear me talk about it all the time. I just love it. So I'm coming up with some other sayings, like for the triplets, the granny stitch. So 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Triplets in a pocket. I know. Standalone, right? I do a standalone. Just 1 stitch. Twins in a stitch. Triplets in a pocket. I don't know what's causing me to think of these things, but it helps me remember, you know. And then when I show other people and I mention that, hey, triplets in a pocket, that means 3 stitches in that 1 stitch, you know. But I have been using twins in a stitch since I started my channel. I don't know where it came from. It's just they call it a mnemonic device. It's just a saying, a phrase that helps you remember, you know, it helps you connect the dots. So when I say twins in a stitch, you already know, you know, 2 stitches into 1 stitch, you know, it helps you remember. So, anyway, you know you've been crocheting too long when your finger has that mark. Do you see that mark right there? Look at that. It's okay. So used to it. I'm surprised it's not permanently there. I swear, like, if I were to punch a time clock when I started crocheting and, you know, punched when I finished for the day, I would have worked enough hours to have, I guess, the same amount as someone else who had worked a part-time job, you know. I think I crochet, how many hours do I do about 8 hours a day on the weekend, so it's 16 hours right there. An hour before bed, an hour after I wake up, the other 5 days, so that's 10 hours, plus the 16. That's 26 hours a week I crochet. Yep, 26 hours a week on average. That's like the bare minimum. I don't know what it is. I'm so addicted to crocheting, and then when I'm not crocheting and I'm not working, I'm shopping for yarn. Window shopping, I'm perusing, I'm comparing, I'm contrasting, I'm looking for deals and steals. I'm a true yarn addict. I can't believe it. Well, yes, I can. I can believe I'm a yarn addict. Every sense of the word. Yarn addict is who I am. I've always been one. More so now that I have a channel. I have an outlet, to share all the things. So it causes me to want to amp it up. What else can I find? Where else? What else? How else? So... Anyway, I can't believe I got 3 of the 6 rows of the repeat done in this episode. 56 minutes. My friends, if you're still here with me after all this, you deserve a prize. If you enjoyed this, my friends, please hit the like button. Show me some thummies. They're free. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, and if you've sat here for 56 minutes and you're not subscribed, you might want to consider subscribing, friends, because I am compiling a playlist of all of my Whipping It with Juans. So on those days where it's miserable outside and you just need somebody to hang out with and crochet with, I can be that person. Just put me on the playlist and play me back to back. And I try to keep the whips different each episode, and then I might bring it back later on. But yeah, I try to keep it interesting and lighthearted and fun, because after all, if we're not enjoying ourselves, what are we even doing it for, So, anyway, I talked about the like button. I talked about subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you. And then, of course, hit the notification bell to stay updated with me and my channel. I go live every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my mother. She literally takes over my Sunday lives, I feel. I give her little space, She feels important. I love that for her. So she comes on and she reads all the comments. She sees the whole sea of blue. Blue is her favorite color. And she just enjoys the company of the audience. So if that is something that interests you and you haven't met my mother yet, by all means, come on over. She loves all the people. She's constantly doing this. I love you. I love you. She loves everybody. She's a sweetheart. Anyway, I think I said all the things. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. And I literally just finished 3 of the 6 repeats in the cream. Look at how beautiful that looks. Isn't that gorgeous? It's all the things. I hope Daigo already said she liked what she saw so far, so I'm not worried. Anyway, friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed this episode of Whipping It with Juan. Actually, I enjoy all of them. The more I do them, the more relaxed and more fun I have, I feel. Anyway, that is all for this video, friends. And until the next one, take care. Bye-bye, friends.